He thought she was just another black woman he could intimidate, until she walked into court and destroyed his career. The highway outside of Montgomery, Alabama, was nearly silent that night. A faint mist clung to the road like a veil, catching reflections from flickering street lamps overhead. It was just past 11:30 p.m., the hour when most of the world had gone still, when darkness stretched its fingers wide and everything good was either asleep or trying to get home. Commander Janelle Carter had been driving for almost 2 hours. Jazz murmured low from her car's speakers, her fingers tapping gently on the steering wheel in rhythm. She wore a plain black sweater, jeans, and her hair pulled into a bun. She didn't look like much to anyone watching, just another black woman alone on the road, until the red and blue lights exploded in her rearview mirror. They came fast. No siren, just the urgency of authority, the kind that demanded obedience before explanation. Her stomach clenched, not from fear, but from sheer fatigue. She had dealt with this kind of energy before. She signaled, changed lanes, and rolled her car onto the shoulder, parking carefully. Then she placed both hands on the wheel. Visible, calm, composed. Navy training didn't leave you, even after years. The white patrol car stopped behind her. A long pause. The officer inside didn't rush out. He moved slowly, deliberately, like someone rehearsing dominance. When he finally emerged, it was with the swagger of someone used to being feared. She caught the name on his badge in the mirror. Officer Trent Holloway. License and registration, he said flatly. No greeting. No reason. Just authority, aimed like a weapon. Janelle kept her eyes steady, handed over her documents without a word. Was I speeding, officer? He didn't answer right away. He held her license loosely in one hand, shining his flashlight into the car with the other. Tail lights out, he said. That's not possible, she replied, brows knitting. I had them checked last week. He took a step closer, face tightening. Are you arguing with me? Janelle paused. This was the line, where silence could be mistaken for submission and honesty for defiance. But she chose her words carefully. I'm just saying, if there's an issue, I can get it fixed. Step out of the vehicle, he snapped, cutting her off. She blinked. I'd like to know why, officer. He tilted his head, smile cold. Because I said so. That was enough for her to understand what kind of night this would be. Janelle unbuckled her seatbelt and opened the door slowly. The night air bit against her skin. She stepped out, standing tall but calm, like she had in desert combat zones, facing foreign enemies with guns. Only now, the battlefield was home. Turn around, hands on the car. For what reason? You resisting? He stepped closer, his boots grinding against the pavement. The smell of arrogance clung to him. No, she said. I'm asking a question. Then he reached for his radio. We've got a non-compliant female here. Janelle's blood didn't spike. It cooled. Officer, she said evenly, you need to understand something. I know the limits of your authority, and I know exactly what you're not allowed to do. Wrong move, at least in his mind. You're under arrest, he barked, grabbing for her wrist. She stepped back instinctively, avoiding his hand. Under arrest for what? Obstruction. The word hit her like an insult wrapped in steel. She turned, slowly, placing her hands on the car's roof, metal cold beneath her palms. Her breath was measured, her heartbeat steady. She knew how this game was played. But this time, she wasn't backing down. The cuffs snapped around her wrists, tight. Too tight. He shoved her toward the patrol car with unnecessary force. You don't know who you're messing with, she murmured. He snorted. Lady, I know exactly what I'm doing. But he didn't. Not even close. She sat in the back of the squad car, the plastic seat unforgiving, the cuffs biting into her skin. Her face reflected in the plexiglass divider, calm, unreadable. Beneath the surface, a fire began to smolder. Holloway strutted to his seat, humming to himself as he slammed the door shut. Let's take a little ride, he said. Most people, he explained smugly, didn't talk back. Most just obeyed. She didn't answer. She didn't need to. Military, huh? He asked suddenly, glancing at her through the mirror. Thought you could flash that badge and scare me? She stayed silent. He didn't deserve her voice. You people always think you're above the law, he continued. She stared at his reflection. I am the law, and I know it better than you ever will. That hit him harder than any punch. He pulled into the station's back lot and yanked her out. Processing was quick. Fingerprints, mugshot, paperwork filled out with deliberate apathy. The desk sergeant didn't blink. Just another body in a cell. You think you're smart? Holloway hissed as he pushed her toward Holding. I don't have to think. I know. He didn't like that. He slammed the cell door and strutted away. The hours passed. She sat on the bench, cold steel pressing through her jeans. The hum of fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Officers laughed at the desk outside. She closed her eyes. She had waited out worse. And then, footsteps. He came back. That same smirk. That same cocky walk. No one's coming for you, he taunted. She smiled, small and sharp. I'm exactly where I need to be. And like a cue in a movie, another officer appeared behind him. Young, nervous, clipboard in hand. Sergeant, you need to see this. Holloway frowned. What now? It's about her. There's been a call. From D.C. He paused. What kind of call? The younger officer swallowed. Pentagon level. Internal affairs. They're asking why she was arrested and who signed off on it. Holloway paled. Janelle watched from behind the bars, calm as ever. The power shifted in the room like a tide rolling in. When he returned to her cell minutes later, face pale and fists clenched, she didn't flinch. What the hell did you do? He demanded. I told the truth, she said softly. And I have people who listen. By morning, she stood in a federal courtroom. No jumpsuit, no cuffs. Just a navy blazer and quiet strength. Across the room, Holloway sat stiffly at the prosecutor's table, sweat beading at his temple. His swagger had vanished. The judge, an old man with sharp eyes, listened as the prosecutor laid everything bare. Commander Janelle Carter, Naval Intelligence. Clean record. Commendations. Not so much as a parking ticket. And yet, the prosecutor added, voice cold. This officer arrested her over a faulty tail light. But that's not the real story, is it? He continued. Because Sergeant Holloway has a long history of questionable stops, especially involving drivers of color. The courtroom buzzed with quiet fury. Then came the footage. The body cam. Janelle calm. Holloway, confrontational. Every second undeniable. When the video ended, silence hung like a blade in the air. The judge leaned forward. Sergeant Holloway, you abused your authority. The charges are dismissed. And an internal investigation is ordered, effective immediately. He slammed the gavel. Janelle didn't smile. She just stood and walked out, tall and untouched. Outside, the press waited. Her phone buzzed. A message from her commanding officer. The mayor wants to meet. You've made an impact. Another message. Holloway suspended. May face charges. She stared at the city skyline as the sun rose over the courthouse dome. Her reflection stared back from a nearby window. Steady. Focused. This wasn't just about her. This was about every young black woman told to be quiet. Every soldier questioned in their own country. Every innocent driver pulled over, wondering if they'd make it home. She had stood up, and this time, the system had to listen. And now, it would change.